الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم وبعد فإن أحسن الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وإن شر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة بالنار أما بعد. جزاكم الله خير, my dear brothers and sisters. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless this gathering and make this gathering for his sake. Brothers and sisters, in the past few weeks we were talking about the different types and different level of love. And today we're going to be talk about and how love sometimes acts in the heart of the individual or heart of the believer, and how sometimes love can be an opposition of what we call hate. Brothers and sisters, when someone loves something, he loves it for one of two reasons. He either loves it because of itself, or he loves it because of benefits or secondary benefits that are going to come from that thing. Like for instance, someone might say, "I love my mom because she's my mom, and I love my mom because of something that she gives me, And everything human beings, the most important thing, or the only thing that we love because of itself should be Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, brothers and sisters, is complete. We love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for himself. Not because, and maybe someone might love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because of a secondary benefit, but the real love of Rabbil Alameen is that when someone loves Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because of himself, of who is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because he knows Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is complete in every single matter. He is the most powerful, the most merciful, the most majestic, the most wise, etc. So yes, maybe some, and there are very few examples when someone loves something because of itself. Okay, very few examples. But if it comes to reality, the number one thing that we should be loving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because of himself. Beyond that, anything in this world we might love because of what? Because of a secondary benefit. I love my house because it's comfortable. I love my car because it's luxurious. I love my boss because he's nice. You see, there is secondary benefits. I don't love all these things because of themselves, but I rather love them because of a secondary benefit. And that's the types of love. You love something because of itself, or love because of a secondary benefit. When we want to classify things that we love for a secondary benefit, Ibn al-Qayyim, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala please him, he said it's two types. You love it because of something beneficial that you get out of it, or you love it because of something that is painful that you're going to get out of it. How does that make sense? You love something because of something painful is going to come out of it. Like for instance, you love, you have to take medicine. You have to take medicine. Why? But why? But the medicine is bitter. You love that medicine. You have to love that medicine because it's what is beneficial. It's a benefit to you. But it's something painful that is going to come out of it. Another example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for instance, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he tells us in the Quran, كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْقِتَالُ وَهُوَ كُرْهٌ لَكُمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have ordained fighting mandatory on us, but it's something hated in Islam. It's not like a Muslim like to fight. No. And that's some of the misconceptions that people think about us, that we love fighting and we love being in a battlefield. No, it's actually Islam is something hated. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that in the Quran. كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْقِتَالُ وَهُوَ كُرْهٌ لَكُمْ. We dislike fighting. But a Muslim, if he had to fight, he had to fight, to protect himself, to protect his honor, to protect his country, and etc. So there are certain things that you have to do that you might love, but it's come the secondary gain is not necessarily something that you like, but something you might dislike. Okay, and that's common in all sorts of ways. Maybe you hate something, and because if you hate it, it might get you to something even more worse than it. Maybe you dislike something, and it may lead you to something that is good. Maybe you like something, and it's give you something even better. Maybe you like something, and it's gonna lead you to something that you dislike. So there's all the sort of combination that exists in this world, brothers and sisters. But in reality, yeah, in the reality, the essence of each and everything that we love, you know, eh, it leads you. Yeah, the essence of each and everything that you do is based on love. And why do I go to work? Why do I ride a car? And it have to be something that you like. It must be something that you like. And in the believer, brothers and sisters, the essence of his love, it should be toward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his prophet. And anything that compete with that love in your heart, it's a reason why your iman is weak. Anything that compete with your love toward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his prophet is a reason why your iman is weak. So this is something that you have to think about. If someone says, Wallahi, okay, I should be loving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Prophet Muhammad and the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam more, but I'm not there. Then the question that you need to be asking yourself, what is in your heart that is competing with the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's Prophet? It could be all sorts of things. It could be dunya, it could be women, it could be lust, it could be luxury, it could be many, many other reasons. And that's why brothers and sisters, they say there is no true love. There is no true love unless in the opposite of that is something that you hate. Like for instance, why do you love your new car? Why do you love this food? Because if you love a food, then you must hate other food. Because that's why you stated, I love this food. I love this car. So but sometimes we don't think about these things. When you say I love something, what does that mean? Meaning that you definitely hate something else. Otherwise, there is no reason for you to state that I love something. So Ibn Qayyim, he said, لا تصح الموالاة إلا بمعاداة. You cannot say I like something unless you dislike something. And he gave us an example from the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, and on the tongue of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, أفرأيتم ما تعبدون أنتم وآباؤكم الأقدمون فإنه عدو لي إلا رب العالمين. Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, when he was talking to his people, he said, do you see what you are worshipping? You and your forefathers, they are my enemy except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So because he loved Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he disliked the enemy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He disliked the untruth. He disliked the false. So that's another example. قد كان لكم أسوة حسنة في إبراهيم والذين معه إذ قالوا لقومه إن براء منكم ومما تعبدون من دون الله. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us a good example of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. Those who were with him, they said to their people, we are free from you. We are free from you from whatever you worship beside Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So meaning, if you like something, you would have to hate something else. And because for people who say, "Wallahi, we don't want to use the word hate," it's too harsh. You're lying to yourself. And you're not admitting there, because if you like the truth, then you hate the false. And that's why, brothers and sisters, we have to be realistic with ourselves. When we chose Islam, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, which our deen is built on. It built on what? No. What is La ilaha illallah? What is the very first word of La ilaha illallah? La. Then you are negating something, or you're saying no to something else. La ilaha. There is no God. So meaning that you are choosing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you are turning away from something else. You're turning toward the truth, and you're giving your back to the false. You know, and that's what, yeah, this is the essence of our deen, is that you are, يعني you're turning toward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're turning toward his right path. You hate immorality. You hate injustice. You know, no one can say, "Wallahi, I don't want to be, I want to be in the middle, but I don't want to say or use the word hate." No, no. Then you're lying to yourself. We hate false. We hate injustice. We hate immorality, and then because these things are harmful to the people. We hate killers. You know, we hate adulterers. You know, people who rapists. Yeah, no one say, "Wallahi, I like this guy because he take advantage of women." No, we don't like his action. So therefore, brothers and sisters, it's important that I mean, not saying that here is that yani, hate everyone and take animosity against each and every person. No, I'm saying that just like there is love, you have to hate something else in order for you, to we love Jannah, we love heaven, right? But what do we hate? In the opposite of that is hellfire. And no one tell me, "Wallahi, I like hellfire." It's no, we hate, we dislike it. We don't want to be in the hellfire. You see? So this is the reality. This is part of the reality of love, brothers and sisters. You know? Yeah, subhanallah, you know, and the more yani, the more the individual realize this, realize that the fact that that he had no choice other than loving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because otherwise, if you don't dedicate yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you may be in the area or the gray area of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hates. You know? Because the real life, the real beauty of life is where? Is when you are closer to Rabbil Alameen. When you're closer to something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves, you know, and you are away from anything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hates, whether it was injustice, whether it was oppression, whether it was, harming other people, whether it was immorality, and etc. So and that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, if you do good, you will live good. من عمل صالحا من ذكر أو أنثى وهو مؤمن فلنحيينه حياة طيبة. Whoever do good, whether he's male or female, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it live a very happy life. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he have not given this to anyone. He given it to the people who's willing to follow that pathway, and for them who have turned away from what is wrong. فمن يرد الله أن يهديه يشرح صدره للإسلام ومن يرد أن يضله يجعل صدره ضيقا حرجا. Whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would open his chest for Islam. And whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala misguide, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would make his chest close against the truth. So brothers and sisters, and this is the reality of the believer. يعني as Ibn al-Qayyim says, المؤمن المخلص لله من أطيب الناس عيشا. يعني the person who is a believer, he is sincere to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they live the best life because they live in tranquility. They live on the terms of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likes, and they move away from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala dislike, and they would live a beautiful life, to the point that they would do things that maybe to a rational individual it's impossible. Like Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to do what we call now al-wisal. He used to do continuous fasting. What is continuous fasting? Meaning that when we fast, for instance, when me and you fast, when we break our fast, we'll break our fast at Maghrib time, right? Right. But Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to do muwasala, he used to continue, meaning that he would fast 2-3 days together. Something that is not, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam have forbid us from doing. So an average. So this is something that only Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to do. But a normal Muslims are not allowed to do this. Only Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did that, and that's it. He told us not to do it. He kept that for himself. And then when he was asked, how were you able to do this? Well, you know what he said? He said, إني لست كهيئتكم. I am not like you. إني أظل عند ربي يطعمني ويسقيني. I am when I'm fasting, I am with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He feeds me and he quenches my thirst. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have given, subhanallah, and that's something that sometimes people think that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to take advantage. No, he used to. He used to do extra worship on himself. But he made it haram on other person for him to do it other than himself. And that shows that he's definitely a true prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, and that's the way, brothers and sisters, the way you deal with things that you love. You know, the more you love it, the more you feel that you are in need of it, and the more when it's not when you miss it, the more sad that you would feel. You know, the more sad, to the point that it would make you blind. Yes, when you love the truth, when you love what truly deserve your love, it could make you a blind person. Yes. Yeah, and obviously, when someone, and just like when someone loves something that is haram, you know, like for instance, let's say a woman loves the girl, a woman loves the guy, or a guy loves a woman. You know, he could love her so much to the point that he would make her blind, and he would make him blind, and he would make her blind. Like they would act irrationally. But if someone want to dedicate this amount of love, he should be dedicated to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, in which that he would think nothing of except what Allah Subhanahu wa Taala like. Yeah, just like a like a drunken person. And I'm just an example. When he is so attacked, when he is, when his house get burned, he does not care. Why? Because he's thinking about the alcohol that he loves, or his state of emptiness. And the same thing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, true love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's not thinking of anything else except what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would like. Except what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala like, So this is very important that for us to think about. Okay? It's very important for us to think about and see how far away are we from the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? And that's why there is an athar ilahi. It's not a hadith. It's something that was Ibn Taymiyyah have narrated to us. They call it athar ilahi. It's a saying where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Ibn Adam, خلقتك لعبادتي. O son of Adam, I have created you to worship me. فلا تلعب. So don't play. وتكلفت برزقك فلا تتعب. And I took care of your provision, so don't overwork. Don't kill yourself. Your risk is being written by the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So don't overwhelm yourself. Ibn Adam, اطلبني تجدني. O son of Adam, if you ask for me, you will find me. فإن وجدتني وجدت كل شيء. And if you find me, you will find everything. وإن فتك فاتك كل شيء. And if you miss me, if you miss Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have definitely missed everything. وأنا أحب إليك من كل شيء. And I am and you should وأنا أحب إليك, and I love you more than anything else. This is the true love toward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, brothers and sisters. The question here, brothers and sisters, that how much is for us to kind of evaluate what are the things that we love, what are the things that we hate, and how and where within our hearts the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and how much it is. I hope that you guys got the point. Jazakumullah khair for your listening to me, and I hope Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would guide all of us. Jazakumullah khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.